Awesome, guys. Happy Saturday. Welcome to our Saturday training. Guys, we do this every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The flyers or the messages that go out to you guys, it's the same code. It does not change week to week. So make sure you keep a reminder to yourself that every Saturday we do this where we don't have to, but we want to because we take time out of our busy schedule to step back, reach down and grab you guys up with some of these top producers to find out what they're saying, what they're doing, in the most important parts of this business so that you too can have success. So guys, please make sure you got a pen, write this down. Don't try to remember it. We get a lot of people that ask us the same questions that we're answering on here. So that's why it's important to get on. We go over the same subjects, but it's a different person every week. So you can get all the information you need to go crush it week to week. Okay. All right, guys. So make sure you're ready. Guys, as you know, I always start out with the top 10 submit for the week. Okay. And so coming in, and this is for December week 2, guys. Weekly submits. Coming in at number 10, Kristen G, $7,745. Andre B, $7,975. Thaddeus S, $8,656. Rachel C, $9,534. Will C, $9,743. Jasmine S, great job, girlfriend, $9,860. Jamar S, $11,031. Coming in number 3, Richard M, $11,877. Ryan U, number 2, $23,171. And there can only be one. Number 1, guys, Austin S, $35,268. If you're asking, guys, if this can happen to you, it definitely can. Get out of your mindset, the negative mindset. Get out of your fears and just run the basic system that we have here. Take these fundamentals that we go over week to week and apply them. It's better if you actually try than sit in your thoughts, because it just, not only it takes longer, you don't make any money, guys, but by doing it, you gain wisdom and you learn what your way is here in this business. So I challenge everybody to get up and try this business. Do something today that you didn't do yesterday. So I challenge everybody to do that. So guys, please get out your device or your pen and write this information down. We do announcements every week. The number one announcement, guys, is you must get work spots. They got a 50% discount going on right now for $9 new internet life leads. Take advantage of that, guys. 50% off. You can save a ton of money. It's $99 a month. That is like literally the least expensive business expense I've seen, to have an environment where you can plug into an office near you nationwide, and also your teammates. You can connect with top producers. Guys, there's weekly live trainings. The most important thing, guys, is getting those discounts on those leads that are already affordable, that are exclusive to you, and also free Wi-Fi access, and to be able to print your leads. So if you're serious in this business and you are licensed and you are contracted, become a member, get your discounts, don't overspend, right? Do what you need to do. And guys, they got the 50% going on right now. Number 2, guys, please make sure that you are submitting your numbers week to week, from Thursday to Wednesday. Every Wednesday night, please set a reminder to yourself to submit your numbers to submityournumbers.com. And please, if you're not paying attention, pay attention to Slack. That's where we send all of our updates, so we can get one message out to everybody, and it makes everyone's lives easier, okay? The next thing I want to talk about, guys, is please make sure you're aware of the dates for the Fast Track Academy. This is extremely important. A lot of these new agents who are writing business for the first time and are crushing it is because they were a part of that Fast Track Academy. All right, so make sure that if you're not closing business, if you're having a hard time and you haven't been here that long, go back and grab the fundamentals. Go back and be able to ask questions. Julian is one of the teachers. He wrote personally over 50,000 on his own pen, and he has a top leading producing team. So what better way to be able to ask one of the best people in the business what to do, how to get started, and just what you need to do to get off to a fast start. Guys, then if you're not licensed and you're 50% or more into your course, all right, you want to make sure, guys, we'll post all of this in Slack. You want to make sure you're plugged into our Sunday study session with Sean Brigman, who is a licensed course instructor, guys. He knows what's going to be on the test. And if you want to pass that test, you need to be 50% or more into your course and plug in every Sunday from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Look for that flyer on Slack. All right. If you're one of those people, make sure you are on there. It is free to you. And then last but not least, guys, convention. Okay. Big decisions are made at big events. I can tell you right now, I've never seen a top producer or even someone who's a top producer part-time not go to this convention. All right. I've seen people not have success by not going to a big event. Guys, you're going to get everything that you need to know. You're going to be 6 months to a year ahead of anybody else that didn't go. You get to meet top producers, find out what you need to do. This is not a hoorah session where we're excited. We're excited, guys, but this is not a kumbaya session. This is every part of this business that you get to get information from experts in the entire company on what you need to do. And guess what? It's completely free. We come from a company, and some of you guys come from a company too, where we had to pay for everything: CDs, books, conventions, even tickets for other people, right? And not only did we not make a lot of money, but all the money that we did make, which wasn't a lot, went right back into all that stuff. So the beauty about Family First Life, guys, is that all of our events are free. You do have to pay for airfare and hotel, but the event is free to change your entire life. That's February 2nd to the 5th in Miami, Florida. Make sure you are there. We'll also post that link as well for you guys to register. All right, guys. Well, that's all for the announcements. All right, for myself, I do want to go ahead and bring on our first speaker today. She is going to kill it. You do not want to miss it. This is our very own EVP. She is going to be the first African-American woman to close and seal that integrity deal. And I'm just excited and ecstatic to be a part of that. Kali Somerville is going to talk about how to not sell from your own pockets. Kali, take it away.
Hey guys, good morning. Thank you so much, Karyn. I hope everybody's doing amazing this morning. You guys could be doing anything else besides being on here. So we thank you for joining us this morning. So I know last week we had some questions. I looked, and when Karyn sent me the screenshot, it looks like we had, let me turn my springer off. Looks like we had answered all of the questions. This week, I'm going to go into not selling from your own pocket. So one of the things that happens when you're new is that, or you've not been, you're new, or you're new to the insurance, you're new to FFL, and you may be used to writing small premiums, or you may not have written premium before at all. So, and one of the things that we do, and I did it myself, is I was selling from what I thought someone can afford, right? So that's what I mean about selling from your own pocket. So you think, and I give you a good example, and it's happened to me recently, and I may have used this example last week, but I had a lady, she told me that she was on a fixed income. And because I hear that a lot, fixed income to me means like social services. Well, they're getting like, what's it called? Social Security, right? So because she said she was on a fixed income, I didn't do my part to make sure that I sold on value. I sold on the price, right? And so I quoted her, I gave her 3 quotes. I gave her 20,000, 15,000, and 10,000. And she chose the 20,000, which was like $150 a month for her because of her age, right? But what that also, when she chose that highest amount, that told me she probably could have afforded more. But because she said that thing about being on a fixed income, I automatically assumed that she couldn't afford more. So I guess key number one is for not selling out of your own pockets is what somebody means, what somebody says could be, your idea of being broke may be different than someone else's idea of being broke, right? Or your idea of having money may be different than someone else's idea of having money. So it's like that lady said she was on a fixed income. She was, because she was getting, when she said fixed income, she was getting Social Security, but she was also getting pension. And so again, because of that, I undersold that policy to that client, and I couldn't go back and say, well, do you want more now? Because I already gave her those 3 quotes. And so it would have been weird for me to kind of go back and quote her higher than what I already did. So I would say that's number one. Number two is not selling from your own pockets. And let me see what I got on here so I can do a role play. I think that will help a lot of people, because I think what happens is people get nervous when it comes down to, and I don't think they get nervous. I don't think you guys get nervous. I know you get nervous, because I did too, right? I got nervous about showing these big numbers, because again, because of where I was financially, right? And so you have to be very conscious and conscientious about where you are, and who the person that you're sitting across from, what their idea of expensive or inexpensive is. It could be different. So let me see who I got on here that I can role play with. Anybody want to volunteer? Somebody who doesn't usually volunteer, but someone who's also been in the field. Okay, good job. Come on, Nadine. You got to unmute your phone.
So yeah. So like so. You want to start, or you want me to start?
Well, no, I'm going to be the agent. You're the client, so this is going to be, you're going to be a final expense client. Can you hear me? Because your phone is breaking up. We may have to use somebody. Okay, so you're going to be a final expense client, Nadine. Okay.
Okay.
All right, perfect. So, and I'm not going to go through the whole spiel. Are you having trouble hearing me? I think it's Nadine, I think it's a delay for some reason. Could someone else volunteer?
I ate it.
All right, thank you, Jeffrey. Nadine, yeah, it's a delay on your part, so I don't want to make it awkward. Thank you. Thanks, Jeff. So, all right. So this is your final expense, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You're healthy, so we got options, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going with Americo.
Okay.
Okay, because you don't have any health issues. So Mr. Jeffrey, I'm gonna give you these quotes here. Okay. Now I know you said that you were on a fixed income.
Yeah, I'm on Social Security. I hardly have any real amount of money coming in.
You don't. Okay. So how much is that? How much is that a month?
I get about maybe $1,500 a month.
Okay, $1,500 a month. Okay. Now, and I know you also told me that, it's important that your daughter, she didn't struggle, right? It's when something
Correct.
happens to you, right?
Correct.
Because you said your wife didn't have any insurance when she passed away.
Correct.
Okay. So your daughter, Nicole, so how important is it to make sure that Nicole is taken care of when you pass away, Mr. Jeff?
Absolutely important. I want to be able to cover what I need to cover to take care of my expenses, but I also want to leave something for her.
Okay. So you do want to leave something behind in addition to making sure that your final expenses are covered?
It would be nice, yes, because I would like to prepare her for the future.
Okay. So I looked at a company called Americo for you, Mr. Jeff. And, based on what you told me you wanted to, because you said you want to have a burial. You said that, you want to make sure you want to try to leave a little bit of money left over for your daughter, Nicole. So we're going to start at $30,000 in coverage. Okay.
How much would that run me?
Yeah.
Because remember, I'm on a fixed income.
I got you, but I want you to see, you know what I'm saying, what all of the numbers look like. Because 30,000 is the maximum that we can do with this company. Okay. So I want you to be able to see, because right now you said you don't have anything. I
have nothing.
Okay. So 30,000, Mr. Jeff, 30,000 is going to be $183.69 a month. And I'm showing him the paper at this point because he's in front of me. So I'm pushing it to him, but I'm reading it. So 30,000, Mr. Jeff, is $183.97 a month. Okay. 25,000 is $165.41 a month. 20,000 is $121.81 a month. 15,000 is $101.29 a month. and then 10,000 is $89.59 a month. So, Mr. Jeff, out of all of these, which one is going to make sure that Nicole, if you feel like Nicole would get taken care of with the most, and which is going to fit in your budget every month as well?
Well, that's the thing, because I first would have to take into account how much my final expenses are going to be, and have to determine what would be left over.
So, Jeff, I don't want you to be because the point of this is you're not supposed to be a broke client. You're supposed to have some money.
No, I get it.
Right.
But I'm just putting you the stuff that I've been told. This is what I'm told.
Okay. So say it again.
I want to realize how much I'm going to have as a final expense so that I could determine how much I'm going to have left over.
Right. So the average funeral today in 2021 is between $8,000 to $10,000 a month. $8,000 to $10,000.
Okay. So that means I would have to clear $10,000 at least minimum, so that I would know what I'm going to leave for my daughter.
That's correct.
So I would say between 25 and 30.
Okay, so the 25,000 is $161.81 a month, and then the 30,000 is the $183.75 a month. So which one is going to fit in your budget the best? That doesn't cause you any.
I think I can handle the 25.
The 25, the $161.81 a month.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead, Mr. Jeff. Go ahead and grab your driver's license and your routing and account number, and I can get started with the application.
Absolutely, no problem.
Okay.
Let's get it.
All right, perfect. Thanks, Jeff.
You got it.
So, guys, that was a good example, because he said, and I was even thinking, that's why I stopped him. $1,500 a month is not that, that's not a lot of money, but clearly he saw value in making sure that his daughter was taken care of after he was gone. So the funny thing about, here's something else, guys. The people that say, what do you got for $20 a month, $15 a month, $30 a month, those people are more likely to charge back, because they don't see those little teeny policies, unless it's a child rider policy where it's just a small policy. But if you have an adult who's been through any kind of life, who they know what this is, and they know insurance is not $10, $20 a month, right? For the most part, people do know that. But if somebody's saying, I can only do this little amount a month, they don't see any value in it. And so here, what you want to focus on is not selling on price, but selling on value, right? So when I start putting Mr. Jeff's application in Americo, and I get halfway through, and I get that approval halfway through that said most likely he will be approved, I'm gonna start talking to him about the benefits of the plan that we did, right? So, Mr. Jeff, I didn't tell you the really good thing about this plan. So now we're halfway through, we got the approval. The really good thing about the plan that you chose is that, number one, it has, if you die in an accident, it will pay Nicole double. So instead of paying her $25,000, it will pay $50,000. Right. Mm-hmm. And then if you were to die in a common carrier, so like a plane, a train, something like that, or like a cab trip, a common carrier accident, it would pay her triple. So we'll pay her $75,000. Not to say we want anything to happen to you in those ways, but those are just extra added benefits of this policy that's already included in the price.
Excellent.
And then you also have, Mr. Jeff, if, like, say you had a terminal illness, you also have the ability to be able to take out a couple dollars in the case of a terminal illness from your policy while you're still living.
Good.
Okay. So I'm not selling him. I never mentioned it, because even though, and somebody might say, here's a perfect example, right? So somebody might say, so tell me, okay, Jeff, so I'm giving you the prices, right? $183.75 a month. Tell me that's expensive. So Mr. Jeff, 30,000 is $183.75 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And 25,000 is $161.81 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So just say
that's pretty expensive.
It is a little bit expensive, but remember, you're a little bit older, Mr. Jeff. You know what I'm saying? You're just 75 years old, you know, and the insurance companies, they know that you're closer to dying than anything else, right? So
correct, I get it.
They want to get their money's worth, if that makes sense. It sounds terrible, but it's their business too.
It is,
right?
It's all business.
So, but just because he said it's expensive doesn't mean he can't afford it. That's my whole point.
Yep.
Right. Just because somebody makes a statement, oh, that's expensive, doesn't mean they could just be stating obvious. It's expensive. Doesn't mean that they can't afford it. So that doesn't mean that you drop down on what you're doing because someone says, oh, that's a lie. I mean, now people say, oh, hell no. Well, they're saying it's like, that's different. But just because someone states, oh, that's expensive, that doesn't mean that they can't afford it. That's just a statement. What questions do you guys have with that? Because again, you guys, you want to start from, you need to, number one, you want to sell the client what they need or propose to the client what they need, right? So if he said he wanted to take care of his final expenses, he said he wanted a burial, and he said he wanted to leave some money behind for his daughter. So that's what I showed him is a plan. I showed him 30,000, 25,000, and I let him tell me what works for him and what doesn't work for him, not the other way around, right? And here's another key, guys. If somebody chooses, so if he would have chose, so Jeff, I was about to say Mr. Jeff. So Jeff.
Thank you for the mister.
But I do, when I'm dealing with final expense clients, I call them Mr. or Miss, like just out of respect. So Jeff, choose the 10,000. So the 10,000, Jeff, is $97.01 a month. So out of these prices, which one is not going to leave a burden on you financially every month?
Well,
Mr.
I guess
Jeff?
the 10,000 would be the least impact that I would
The
have.
10,000. Okay. So, and let me pause right here so I can explain what I'm doing. So if somebody chooses the least expensive plan, most likely they can't afford that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just choosing it because that's all that you get. That's the only option that you gave them. Just like the first example I gave where the lady chose the 20,000, that was the highest amount that I gave her. So that's the one that she chose. Right. So the same thing goes with the cheapest, but I'm not going to make him feel bad about choosing the least expensive plan. So Mr. Jeff, you said the 10,000 and $97.01, that's going to fit in your budget every month?
That would definitely fit in my budget, but I don't think it would cover everything.
Well, don't say anything about it.
Okay.
Don't say, just say you just don't think it will fit in your budget. But you chose the 10,000 and the least expensive plan.
Right.
So the 10,000, the $97.01 is going to fit in your budget every month, Mr. Jeff?
Yes.
Okay. So let me do this. Let me take a look at 8,000 and see. Let's take a look at 8,000 and see what 8,000 looks like. I know that's not exactly what you wanted, but let's just take a look and see if let's just take a look at it. Let's just take a look at the price. So, Mr. Jeff, the 8,000 is $75.06.
That sounds a little better.
That sounds better?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Jeff, are you going to be able to afford the $75.06 every month? Like this month is Christmas, birthdays, no matter what's going on. Is that going to be a burden for you financially? Because it doesn't, if it's going to burden you financially, none of this matters.
No, I think I'll be able to handle the $75.
You think?
A lot easier. Yes. That should be no problem.
Now, do you want me to look at maybe 6,000?
No, I think the 8,000 would be just about right, because then it'll still be able to cover at least most, if not all, of my expenses.
Yeah. And then, like I told you the story about my father, he didn't have anything in place when he passed away. So if we would have had, I know that's not what you wanted, but if me and my sister would have had 8,000 as opposed to having nothing, it would have made a really big difference for us. Understood. So just so you feel better, you know what I'm saying? You don't feel bad about choosing the 8,000. Like, I'm sure your daughter would appreciate 8,000 than having nothing.
Yes, I perfectly understand.
Okay, perfect. So guys, do you see, he's a man, and this is not no slight to any men on the phone, but men don't want to say that they can't afford, right? So I allowed him to kind of get out of it by giving him a lower quote, right? But not making him feel bad about him choosing the lowest. But that's the key, guys. If somebody chooses the least expensive quote that you give them, they probably can't afford it, and you show them a lower price, and then you let them tell you, no, I need the 10, I want the 10, I can make that, I'll figure how to make that happen. You know what I'm saying? You let them tell you that they want to keep the higher amount. So the things that I just showed you guys are really, number one, how to keep policies on the books, because again, it's no point in selling something to these clients and they can't afford it. right? But you also want to make sure that you're getting the client what they're asking for and what they say that they needed, right? Because our job is we're providing the solution to the problem. We're the doctors, and the client is telling us his symptoms, and we're providing, this is the prescription. Now, whether they want to take the prescription or not want to take the prescription, that's up to us, but that's our job to provide the prescription based on what they said their symptoms were. Does that make sense, guys? I saw.
Yes.
Thank you, Jeff, for volunteering. Appreciate it.
Anytime.
Somebody asked, once I get licensed, do I need to pay? No, you don't have to you don't pay to become a member of Family First Life. No, the $99 was for work spot so that you have access to the office, to any office location in the country that's Family First Life, that Family First Life manages. Let's say I picked a life insurance policy for $30,000 and the funeral expenses was $10,000. So where did the rest of the money go if I didn't have a family? Well, you choose a beneficiary. So the beneficiary decides what happens to the money when you pass away, unless they have a conversation. So for myself, I have way more life insurance than what's required for my funeral, but my son gets to keep the rest of the money that as long as he's a beneficiary, he keeps the rest of the money, he can do what he wants to do with it. It doesn't have to go to a funeral call. It doesn't have to go to funeral. It goes to the beneficiary, to a person. How do we break a client's perspective on 100K versus what they actually qualify for? So I'm assuming, Nadine, you mean so somebody says they want 100,000, but they don't qualify. They only qualify for final expense. So like I talked about last week, that goes along with at the beginning of the conversation and finding out what they like, finding out about their health issues, all those kind of things. So Jeff, since you're here, Mr. Jeff. So do another role play. So Jeff, okay, you said you wanted 100,000. Now, what's the 100,000 for?
Well, the 100,000, I want to make sure I cover my expenses, but I also want to leave something for my children and my grandchildren.
Okay, so that sounds like you're looking for like a term policy. Do you know the difference between a term and a whole life policy?
Not really.
Okay, so a term policy, it's called a term because it ends. It's good for a term. So it might be 10 years, it might be 10 years, 20 years, 5 years. Like AARP is a 5-year term. So every 5 years, the policy increases. Okay. Right? And so, Mr. Jeff, you told me you're 65 years old, right? And so and probably the most that you're going to qualify for, I got to ask you some health questions, but the most you're going to probably qualify for is a 10-year term or a 15-year term. So you're 65 today, and that means at age 80, the price of your insurance is going to increase, and it's going to be something that you're not going to be able to afford.
Oh, okay.
Did you know that about term? No, I did not. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's why some people have these high face amounts. For you, I wouldn't at 65 years old, I wouldn't recommend, period. Because you know what I'm saying, like you need something that's going to last you. So whether you live to be 66 or whether you live to be 106, you'll still be covered for the same rate.
Well, right? I think that would best be suited for me.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why, like, these terms, like you see Globe Life on TV. You've seen that commercial? That's a 5-year term. AARP is a 5-year term. So every 5 years, those rates are increasing. And so eventually they're hoping that you're just going to drop the policy after you paid all that money and you have no coverage. And then now you still got to go out and get a whole life policy, and it's going to be way more expensive because now you're 10, 15 years older. Does that all make sense to you, Mr. Jeff?
It does now.
Okay, so let's look into a whole life policy for you.
Okie doke, let's do it.
Okay, so again, guys, I'm the doctor. The client may think they know what they need, but it's my job to point them in the direction of what they may think they know what they want. but it's my job to point it in the direction of what they would probably qualify for and what they need. And kind of, I talked him out of term because he didn't even understand it. He just knows that some people have these big policies. And if he would have said yes, now it depends on, if he said, well, no, I still want it. Well, Mr. Jeff, okay, so you're okay with the policy expiring every 5 years, or I'm sorry, every 10 years, you're okay with the price going up?
Yeah, I'll be okay with that. Okay.
So here's the other thing. The second part of a term policy is that you got to be healthy, right? And you already told me that you got diabetes, you got to take insulin for diabetes, you got high blood pressure, and you had a heart attack 3 years ago. So so that's the reason that they're able to offer those big policies with with the little amount of coverage, because they're looking for people that are healthy, the insurance companies. Okay. So even if that's what you wanted, because of that heart attack and the diabetes and stuff, the insurance companies are not going to approve you for $100,000 because they're looking at their risk. And this is exactly what I say to the client. Like I was like, insurance companies are big business, and insurance companies are not trying to take risks on people that have health issues. They're just not, right? So they'll say they'll give you $30,000 in coverage, but they're not going to give you $100,000. And I can find you $100,000 in whole life policies, but we're going to have to go through a couple different companies, and it's going to be expensive. Now, if that's something that you want, I can give it to you, but it's going to be very expensive.
Mm-hmm. No, so I think we're going to go with the whole life.
We will go, okay, all right, perfect. So guys, I steered him, and I'm steering him in the direction that he wants to go. And you might get a client I'll figure it out, I'll find it myself. You can't do nothing with that. You can overcome objections, but you can't overcome stupidity. You can't overcome people that think they know it all. You can't, guys. So any more questions? Because if not, I'm going to turn it over to our guest speaker. I think we have time for maybe one more question if we have any more. No? Okay. All right. So perfect. Guys, I'm telling you, like, don't listen to what I say, because this guy is about to come on here next. First of all, he's already he's a Hall of Fame producer. He hit Hall of Fame, still with a couple of weeks left in the year. So you need $400,000 to be a Hall of Fame producer, $400,000 on your own pen for the year, which averages out to be about $33,000 in issue paid business personally per month. And so he's already at $404,000 in personal issue paid business. So he's already hit Hall of Fame. He's been with FFL for about 2 years. He's building an agency. And the crazy part, he's not on here today to talk about what he does on the in-home. We can definitely have him come back because he clearly knows what he's doing. He's going to say that he doesn't. But out of all the agencies that are under FFL National, this guy has more people going from not writing business to writing business, because guys, you have not hired anybody. A hire is not a hire until they start writing business. And he's had more people convert from a non-writer to a writer than anybody else in the whole freaking hierarchy under FFL National. So the part that I love about him, he's so humble. He's he's the nicest guy you ever want to meet. Like, he's super fun. And he is the VP of FFL Pursuit of Happiness. Ron McCormick, are you there?
Hey, Kali, I am here. How are you?
I'm good. Where's your picture, bro?
Oh, I'm driving.
I mean, your face, your video.
Try not to die. Driving to an appointment.
Well, don't look at us. Just look at the road. We want to see you.
No doubt. No, I appreciate it. Man, I need to take you around, give you an intro everywhere, I think. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. No, I appreciate you guys having me on. Real quick, before I get started, guys, I just got a new vehicle. And if somebody calls me and I ignore the call and it's going to cut out my Bluetooth, just give me a second to reconnect it. I haven't figured that out yet. But no, I appreciate you guys having me on today. I'm always happy to be on with you guys. You guys are literally like fastest growing team. You know, me and Kali actually started FFL about the same time. We met down in Florida a couple years back, and we just kind of looked at each other like, we're going to destroy this thing. And I love seeing you guys just blowing it up. I mean, what, you guys got like over 50 people on this call. That's so awesome. So the things that you guys wanted me to kind of touch on, schedule to hit Hall of Fame. So I started May
No,
of
Ron,
2019.
hold on.
Oh, wait,
Maybe something got confused. I want you to talk about. I want you to talk about hiring.
Oh, hiring. Okay, my bad. I
Yeah,
thought
what you're doing, you're doing to get people to turn people into writers, because that's that's what matters.
Absolutely. So first thing, you have to hire somebody, right? But Kali, you kind of hit it right on the head. A hire is not a hire until a new agent gets paid. It doesn't matter. Like, everybody comes here to make money, guys. Like, yes, you don't make money until you do the right thing by helping somebody. That's the beauty of this business, is when you go home at late at night from grinding, you go to sleep and you're like, I made a bunch of money, but I also made sure I helped a lot of people. I'm not sure how many people on this call have had to do a death claim. I've had 22 in my 6-year career in insurance. If you have not had one yet, that's when it becomes real and how important it actually is. So first of all, if you're not in our recruiting campaign, definitely hop on that ASAP. It's $1,000 a seat a month. I've been recruiting for 6 years. I have done more recruiting campaigns than you can imagine, wasted more money than you can imagine. Good thing it's a tax write-off. But this recruiting campaign, you literally cannot find anything better, simply because this. So before we had this recruiting campaign, the issue that me and Josh are running into a lot was people were applying for a job just to keep their unemployment. So they weren't actually really interested in getting a job. And that gets kind of frustrating. So when we started this new recruiting campaign, I started with 2 seats. I think first 30 days, we hired like 45, 46 people, something like that. And really, guys, people actually want to work at FFL. Like, literally, I will call these people, but yeah, you inquired about working at Family First Life. And they're just all sort of excited, all gung-ho about it. It's a pretty awesome thing, because it also keeps like me excited as well, because I'm just talking about the best opportunity in the world, because to me it is hands down. Oh, there it is. Fuck. 1 second, guys. Jesus. All right, I'm taking out my Bluetooth. There it goes. See, someone called me. Sorry, guys. So, oh my God. I got an agent in the house. Sorry, guys. Let me text him and tell him to call the hotline. 1 second. I'm so sorry about this. I knew that this was going to happen. Call hotline on a Zoom call.
Don't get
hey, about that, yeah, sorry about that. Agents and homes, you got to help them. Trust me. That's another thing too, guys, is you got to make sure that you're having your agents utilize a hotline. I'll answer my phone 99% of the time unless I'm in something like this. But anyway, so if you're hiring, really, it's about personalizing it. So like, a lot of our system was automated. We took a lot of that stuff out because there's no personal touch. Really, like when, oh my God, dude, everybody wants to call. So you got to have that personal touch with people. That's very, very important, because also a lot of people are going to be remote, and that's okay. But if they're not like physically next to you, because like 95% of my team is like out of state of Ohio, and I'm in Ohio. So it's a lot of Zoom calls, a lot over the phone, stuff like that. You have to put in more effort when they're not next to you, because they need that support when they're starting. Like, I always just remember, when you're a brand new agent, some of you are brand new probably right now. It's very intimidating starting a new industry, especially becoming a business owner. Like, if I would start right now, day one, 6 years ago, and you just threw me to the wolves, I wouldn't even have made it. I wouldn't even be here. So I know how important it is to take that time. If you're gonna build a team, already building, you know that you need to make the sacrifices. When you're home at night, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and you're trying to relax and someone's calling you, you have to take that phone call. Even though, you might be winding down, get ready for bed, you have to put in that time. And also, when you have a new agent start and you have somebody just crushing it, going through the process really fast, doing a lot of homework, help them out with leads. Most people don't come here with money. If people have money, typically they don't come to sell insurance and do all commission. Typically people come here because this is their last resort, even though it's one of the best opportunities. It's kind of funny how that works, but people need to have that. They take that leap of faith on an all commission, starting something new. You need to give them the support in order to be successful. Yes. Do we have all the training videos in the world? Yes, we do. But you also, at some point, you need to guide them on which ones to kind of watch. You know, I'll always guide them to our YouTube page, the FFL National, because I always tell my new agents, like, hey, these are people you're gonna meet. You're gonna link up with them. You're gonna network. Shout out to KG. She helped out one of my rising stars on some aged internet leads, and the next day she booked more appointments than she's ever booked. So I appreciate that time you gave with my agent at KG, which we're all willing to help each other. But those are the extra things that you have to do to get somebody moving and get them to be successful, because people will start and they're just lost in the sauce, which why wouldn't they be? Why would they start and know exactly what we do? They don't. You know, even I had 3.5 years of insurance experience before I started FFL, and I still had no idea what I was doing. I knew how to collect a check from a client, but I didn't know back ends. I didn't know portals. I didn't know how to do any of that stuff. So, like, when you start doing this industry so long, guys, you get away from the basic fundamental things of what got you here sometimes, and you just forget those things because it becomes a natural habit for you. So what I started doing, which I suggest everybody to, if you're starting to build a team or building a team, I have a section in my phone notes where whenever I'm just driving around thinking of things, or I talk to a new agent, it gets brought up, I always put in my phone notes to make sure, I need to bring this up to every new agent that I speak with, to make sure that this little piece of information doesn't slip through the cracks. It's just having detail-oriented organization. If you do not have an admin, get an admin. I have a wonderful admin, Ala. Without her, honestly, I couldn't even be able to run my business without her. You can't do it by yourself, guys. You honestly, truly can't. But I mean, as simple as just, there's a rule of thumb. If I hire an agent, say his name's whatever, Joe, I'll make Joe a deal. You know, you find out their goals, what they're trying to accomplish, their schedule, what they're able to work, when they can work, because some people do have jobs, and hold them accountable, but make sure that they're okay with you holding them accountable. I'm not a micromanager, but if you tell me, hey, my goal is to issue pay 15 grand in a month, and after week 2, you're at 5 grand, I'm going to ask you, hey, your goal is 15. We put a plan in place. What is your plan the next 2 weeks to make up the other 10,000 that you're missing? What's your plan? You know, so it's just about how you approach certain things. I believe you can have any type of conversation, because, guys, the truth hurts a lot. If you ever met Sean Mike, truth hurts, right? You just have to have the right approach and the proper tone and the right verbiage. But I believe every conversation can be had, because yes, we all like to be friends and hang out and have a good time. But at the end of the day, guys, we're here to be successful together and run a business together, and help each other out. And that's really what it's all about. But outside of that, I mean, colleague, Karyn, do you guys want me to kind of touch on anything else about that, or any questions or details, or anything along those lines?
Well, okay. So are you personally, I heard you say you're in a recruiting campaign. So you're spending $2,000 a month just on leads, right? For hiring, which in the scheme of thing is not that much. How many new agents do you know your exact numbers, Ron?
As far as which numbers?
Like how many new agents, how many new writers have you had over the last couple months since you started the campaign?
I believe it was, I want to say 9 or 10. It was 9 or 10.
New writers? That's a big deal.
New writers. We started October 4th or something like that.
Yeah, it was.
And that's the thing, guys, is when you start a campaign like this or anything in recruiting, it takes a good 30, 45, 60 days just to even see any type of result, because you have to understand some people are going to go through the process faster than others. But either way, once they make it through, you guys know we've all been through it. You have that waiting period of getting your agent numbers and everything like that. So you have to give people that time to, make it through the process and everything like that. But once you get through that initial bubble, it's just consistent at that point, as long as you stay consistent hiring and helping people.
I mean, that's it. So, like, if you have 9 to 10 writers, if you spent, let's say, $4,000 October and November, right? We're in a new month now, so we're not going to count December, but 9 to 10 new writers in 2 months, you've made your $4,000 back that you spent in overrides, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's the thing is once you find just a couple people that are beasts, which you'll find those it's just playing out the numbers. They'll come, some people come in, issue paying 20 grand right away. Some will come in, issue paying 5 grand, so I know I need to focus on the $5,000 ones, but you'll find those people that will just come out swinging out of the gates. Like your boy, Josh over there, shout out. I don't know if he's still on the call, dude. You're absolutely freaking crushing it, bro. Find people like Josh. That really makes you also believe in the campaign and recruiting even more. Well, actually, I increased my seats up to 3 just because I want to just hammer it as much as possible. Come the beginning of the year, I might go up to 4, but I'm trying to blow this thing up, to be honest.
Nice. No, and then, I mean, it is a process, Ron. Like, and how are you? So here's a question. How are you're Hall of Fame. So that means you're running like a maniac in the field, but then you're also managing agents. Like, how do you make all this stuff work and make it look easy?
That it ain't easy, but that is the $1 million question. That's the question I've had for a long time for like Josh, Mike, Frank, even you, Kali. We've had that conversation. And really, guys, it's more work. Honestly, it's not much. I wouldn't say more work. It's being on the phone more. Like when I'm in between appointments, I'm always on the phone. Like I don't listen. I don't like music anyway, to be honest. I'm not a huge music nut. So it helps me out anyway, because I'd rather just be on the phone helping somebody as opposed to just sitting in my truck silent, riding around. Like that's weird. So it's just honestly just being on the phone more, but it's okay because it's something that I truly enjoy, because there's nothing better. Like when I have one of my agents write a deal, like it literally makes me feel better when I write a deal myself. And I'm sure, Kali, you're the same way. When we have a new agent write a deal, like we get more excited when we write a deal, so yeah. Like it's an amazing feeling when you can literally watch somebody transition their life from coming here, having no money. I had an agent where I literally had to send her money to buy food for the week, but she goes, but I have leads. I'm like, so you bought leads before groceries? She said, yeah. You bet your butt that I sent her money to buy groceries. And she tried to send it back and I didn't even accept them. I sent it back. I'm like, I don't want it. I'm like, the fact that you have that mentality, you will go a long way and I will make more than that grocery money back, guaranteed. So like, it's one of those things that didn't matter, but sometimes you just have to help people, while they're getting started, and you never know. They could come out and be a Hall of Fame producer. You never know.
So real quick, Ron, we got a couple more minutes. Talk about that. So you're writing, in order to be, like I said, in order to be Hall of Fame producer, you're writing on average 33,000. Is you paying 33,000 a month, and that's average, right? So, but the key is, and this is the part I think a lot of people miss, is that in order for you're making this kind of money, but you're taking it and you're investing it back into the business, right? And so
1,000,000%.
That's the whole point of producing at a high level, is because you need the money to be able to seed your business. So if you weren't writing this kind of this kind of volume, you wouldn't be able to go back and say, hey, I can help you with your grocery, you know what I'm saying? Like, and not think twice about it, or being able to help somebody get started with leads, or saying you want to spend $6,000 a month or however much money a month on just the hiring campaign itself, right? So talk about, Ron, about how important it is to produce at a high level. Forget about Hall of Fame, just to be able to help your new agents get going and get started. Because I think what happens a lot of times is people get spoiled, right? Because at some point, it's no longer your manager's job to do that. It's going to be your job.
100%. Yes. It's very important I think for a couple of reasons, it's important to produce at a high level. One, like you're saying, you have to be able to fund your business. Number one, that if not, then you can't do it. But outside of that point, I just believe you have to lead by example. Like, Kali, I can't tell you to go write 30 grand every month if I'm not doing it, because that's what it was like in my last company. These cats would tell me, go write this. Dude, you haven't wrote a deal in 8 years. Why are you telling me how to write business? You know what I mean? So I just believe that if you're out there in the grind with people, like, that's the true difference between being a leader or being a boss.
You know, if you're leading from the front, you're pulling the weight. If you're a boss, you're just sitting on the back and letting everybody just pull you around. That's not really my style. I don't respect people that do that type of stuff. I'll never be that type of person. That's just how I was raised. That's why I became an independent contractor. Because if you work a normal job, guess what happens? The guy or gal above you tells you what to do all day, and you know how to do your job better, and they make more money. I'm not okay with that. So that's why I became an independent contractor. But you have to be able to fund and make money. So the good news is we can all write business. We all know how, and we're not dependent on to make money on anybody else. Like the way I've always looked at it, I will make sure I can fund my business on my own pen. Everything else, like VP bonus, overrides, all that stuff, that's just money I can throw back into newer agents. That's kind of how I honestly always looked at it, because I can go produce and make money on my own pen and then pay my bills, fund my business, and save money. So the extra money, why save it when I could just, invest it back, because it does come back tenfold. Frank always talks about the money boomerang, and I always thought he was BSing us. He wasn't. He wasn't. I promise you. I'm like, man, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. And then it started happening where it's like, oh wait, so if I invest 20 grand this month, I can make 40. If I invest 25, I can make 50. If I invest 30, I can make 60. You know what I mean? So it kind of becomes a game of how much can I actually invest and how much I can make back. It's pretty cool to track that as well. Because you just see your business grow, and you see other people around you growing in life and in business. It's an amazing feeling.
Yeah, it's crazy. And the very last thing, Ron, since you and I, we really had up the live dials on Monday. Mm-hmm. Talk about how important it is for people to get on the live dials.
If you're not on live dials, you have to be. One, it holds you accountable. I'm gonna give you all a hint. First of all, nobody in this business loves to dial. Okay. Nobody wakes up on a Monday and says, yes, Kali, I cannot wait to get in the office and get on the phones. No one if you find that person, please give me their number and I will pay them to book my schedule, and I will pay them handsomely. But you won't find it. So it's one of those things. If any job you've ever had, there's always at least one thing you don't like about it. Let's be real, right? Or multiple things. Well, in this business, the only thing I don't like is the phones. And it's still not even that bad, because there's people around you, we're talking, having a good time, but you have to get on live dials, guys, because one, it's going to hold you accountable to even get on there. I open it 7:30 every day, and it's always the same couple of people that are first on there every single day. And those are the people that are also writing business. So maybe it's a coincidence. I don't believe in those, but you can put two and two together. But I just believe it's important, because everybody that's on there has produced at a high level. So you get to see a lot of different styles and different verbiage, different rebuttals, because what might work for me might not work for Kali, right? And that's okay, because we might have different verbiage, and that's okay. So you might gravitate more towards her than me, and I'm okay with that. Well, guess what? Then watch more of her videos than mine. You know what I mean? It's really that simple. So when you find somebody that you're like, you know what, I'm kind of like that person, I talk like them, I kind of use the same verbiage, watch all their stuff. There's so many different ways to become successful in this business. There's not just one way. If there was one way, we would all do it that one way, and we'd all be millionaires already. Well, guess what, guys? We're not, and we all do it differently. So just find the style that you like the most and gravitate towards it. That's why I linked up my agent with KG, because just the way that they are, I'm like, you guys got pretty similar attitudes. Both single moms that absolutely crush life and crush business. I'm like, let me link you guys up. And it worked out wonderfully. You know what I mean? So it's just an amazing thing of what our team's doing right now. Honestly, it's awesome. It's priceless.
All right, let me see. We got one. I think we got one question. We got time for the one question, Ron. We'll let you go. Yeah, nobody likes dialing, Nadine. The live dials, we post the live dial info in Slack and on our Facebook page. I've posted faithfully every Monday, and Thursday.
Every 3 times a week it's on there. Yeah, definitely make sure. Even if you guys are brand new and waiting to get your agent numbers, still get on there. I get all my new agents to get on there. Get exposure. The more exposure you get, the better off you're going to be. 1,000,000%.
Yeah, you just hit the ground running. Ron, and so yeah, so every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday they start at 7:30 a.m. Ron starts every Monday and Thursday at 7:30 a.m. So you can hear him dialing live. He dials every pretty much. I mean, unless he got something and traveling or something else. Consistently, Ron is on at 7:30 to 7:30 to 8:30 on Mondays and Thursdays. That's really like one more minute, Ron. Tell them why it makes sense to start dialing at 7:30.
Well, typically 7:30 to 8:30 on average, I'll get about 2 to 4 appointments. To me, the later you get in the day, it's people don't pick up as much. I like calling them first thing in the morning because, one, to be honest with you, my number one reason is because they're just waking up, so they're not pissed off at anything in the world yet, right? So that's kind of one of my purposes, is they're normally in a decent mood. Yeah, you might wake up some people, they might yell at you. Who cares? Call them later. Call them at 9, whatever. But the people but mainly I call seniors, so they're up, they're awake, 7:30, and they're not mad about anything. Plus, no telemarketers are calling that early, so more people pick up the phone. That's the goal. Yeah, no, give me a no, give me a yes. I don't care. Just tell me something, right? Like, that's all I care. Let me resolve this lead. You have to get a no to get a yes. So the no's are more important than the yeses, to be honest with you, in my opinion, because you don't get a yes until you find a couple of no's. So you just have to put out the numbers.
Ron, thank you. You know, you're one of my favorite people in FFL, and
Me
I think
too.
it's because how we started. You know what I'm saying? It was just us. You know what I'm
saying? It was just us.
Just 2 years ago. Like it was just me. Us. It was just you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then here we are. We have these agencies, and it doesn't take a lot of time. It's just you just have to make a decision, plug into the system that we have, and go to work. Like, that's it. Like, it's very, very simple. So Ron, I'm super proud of you. Thank you so much for your time this morning. We really appreciate it. I'm sure, I know I got a lot from what you said this morning, because we can learn from anybody and everybody on things that I can get better. All of us can always get better. Thank you so much, Ron McCormick, for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Hey, anytime y'all need me, just give me a heads up. I always hop on. I appreciate it.
And I'm sure we're going to have you jump back on and talk about like what your schedule looks like, you know what I'm saying, to get to Hall of Fame, because you're working your ass off. For $400,000 a year is not light work. It's hard, consistent work, and I'm proud of you for it, because I know last convention you made a decision that you were going to be Hall of Fame, and you did it. So I'm super proud of you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. You guys' team is awesome. Thank you for you guys' time. I appreciate it.
All right, y'all. That's it for today. We will see you guys on the live dials on Monday at 7:30 a.m. Guys, enjoy the week. Have a great week. Bye.
Bye, guys.